go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Doms, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Nice to go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
See just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League. Today we are back. The German Grand Prix is getting ready to start, and it's going to be a good one. Can Ray Aguilar continue his winning streak where he went back-to-back last week at the Canadian Grand Prix? We will find out together. I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second. As always, on behalf of our good friends at LeagueZero.net, and it looks like drivers starting to make their way out onto the grid. Let's go ahead and walk you through today's starting order. Starting on pole, Finley Fitzsimmons, the defending back-to-back champ. Ray Aguilar starting second. Russell Soto starting third. Nick Peterson starting fourth. Jaden Calloway starting fifth. Felipe Sarkis starting sixth. Antonio Bianchi starting seventh. Jake Duckwall starts eighth. Alex Penn starting 9th. Connor Scribner starting 10th. Julia Cervone starting 11th. Julian Midori starting 12th. Cycling on back, the Shahi Zuhair starting 13th, Devin Hughes starting 14th, the Flying Frenchman Xavier Zanave starting 15th, David Schmidt starting 16th, Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian, starting 17th, John Kasai starting 18th, Peter Rettinger starts 19th, Taylor Zappi starting 20th, Nick Terrell starting 21st, and Jeremy Barber will round out the 22-car grid here today. Good to see some familiar names and faces making their way out back onto the grid, as well as a lot of fresh drivers to the series. Still waiting on quite a few of the drivers to make their way out onto the grid, and we'll get things started here today. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. Drivers frequently have this pulled up on a separate monitor, and if not, they just about always go back and watch it over. McAllister getting some love from the fans on the Twitch side of the broadcast. Looks like everybody has made it out onto the grid. We get ready for the lights to turn on and turn off, and we are underway for the German Grand Prix. And it's going to be a very busy turn one. Finley Fitzsimmons in the top spot, cuts it close as he possibly can. But look at that, here comes Ray Aguilar around the outside, trying to make something happen, getting set back up for the left-hander. Looks like Fitzsimmons going to carry the corner speed, but Aguilar gets a nose ahead of Fitzsimmons. Aguilar takes over the race lead there. And I heard a little bit of incident. That is Shazi Zuhair in the field, slides around trying to avoid the carnage. Get the replay queued up on Zuhair. That number 13 machine did so well in his debut last week at the Canadian Grand Prix. Trying to see what happens here. Oh, is that maybe McAllister? No, I don't think it was. Could have been McAllister. Yes, the number 25 machine got a little bit loose, got to the side of Zuhair. Hopefully, it looks like he was able to stay out on track, keeping things going. Yeah, got to agree with the fans here. A little bit too early to have these incidents. As we are watching about a 4-car battle for 12th, Devin Hughes, Julia Cervone, Gareth McAllister, John Kasai. There's also David Schmidt in the fray here as well. Ryan Tebow in the spectator area saying, hey, I think Bianchi's going to get a top 8 at this one. Could be a good guess as we focus the camera in on the purple and black 17 of Bianchi. He's tucked in behind Jaden Calloway's 37. Bianchi qualified in 7th and sitting exactly where he started. We've already got somebody diving down pit road, though. Was that Calloway? It was, and then more problems out towards the back. A little bit of carnage. Jaden Calloway, not quite sure why he's down pit road, but let's take a look back at the battle for the lead. And my, is it back and forth between Fitzsimmons and Aguilar. Fitzsimmons will come out on top. Russell Soto still holding on to 3rd. Peterson and Sarkis rounding out your top 5. Oh, I misread Ryan Tebow. My apologies. Colin Bianchi as a top 3, so betting the young Italian-Canadian driver will put it in the podium. Well, like a little bit of a lockup there from Soto. Now, we have not seen, I don't believe yet, with Soto's return, him battling side by side with Fitzsimmons and Aguilar, at least in the last couple of rounds. So excited to see how that's going to work. Now, Julia Cervone also came down pit road. So a few drivers maybe having some damage early on. Now for the newcomers here, if you take a tow in the League Zero events, you are done and out of that event. Nick Duckwall trying to make something happen against Connor Scribner in the battle for 7th. Duckwall the 99, Scribner the 89. But don't count out Alex Penn, making his way back out on track for the first time in a long time here at League Zero. Oh, as they go too wide in front, that's Duckwall and Scribner. Penn looking for an opening. Not able to find it, but looks like a little bit of a bobble there from Scribner. More problems at the back. Gareth McAllister as well as Peter Rettinger with an off-track excursion. Trying to see where they involved here. Renger takes a tow to the pits. Ooh, who was that got shunted? Renger, a massive hit. And I think that was McAllister. Yeah, just got punted there. No, was he? It's a solo incident for McAllister. So it did not look like there was any damage on McAllister as he runs 17th, so he's going to try and get that thing fired back up, try and salvage some points. As we watch the battle for second, Aguilar and Soto, but let's go a little bit further back. Still a pretty wild three-car battle for seventh with Scribner, Duckwall, and Penn all in the fray. Now, Fitzsimmons, last time by, your race leader did set the fastest lap so far of the race, a 147.1. And Alex Penn still can't find an opening amongst these drivers. And they're side-by-side racing wherever we look. We pan the camera back up front. Soto makes the move on Aguilar. Meanwhile, Duckwall just made that pass on Scribner. And Scribner looks like he's going to very quickly lose 2 spots in that 89 as Alex Penn makes his way around. But look at that. Here comes Julian Midoriya, another newcomer here to League Zero, joining the hunt. Fitzsimmons puts down another fastest lap of the race, breaking into the 46s as Alex Penn leapfrogs his way up into 7th. But I don't know if Duckwall is going to let him get away too easy here, as Duckwall shoots back up the inside line. As we are on board with Connor Scribner's number 89, a very close view of what's going on in that battle for 7th, Duckwall versus Penn. Waiting to see. I think Penn's going to use that draft for as long as he possibly can. But you can see Scribner looked like he was guarding what I would imagine was the faster line. Penn looks for an opening, not quite able to find it. Gravone gets back out on track. Taylor Zappi also returns to the racing surface. Oh, Penn trying the long way around, but now Scribner's going to interject himself into the party. We got Scrubby Scrub on the Twitch side of the broadcast saying, hey, that onboard view makes me want to get in on the action. Would absolutely recommend it. A ton of fun. And if you ever have the urge for open wheel racing, LeagueZero.net, free to join, broadcasted with live race control. Bador in the 78, trying to catch up to the back of Scribner. Does not want to let Penn and Duckwall get too far ahead here. And look at this, who gets the fastest time that time by? It's going to be Russell Soto. Oh, identical lap time, so just a few thousandths faster than Fitzsimmons' fast lap of the race. And Soto does have Aguilar right behind. Though I would maybe expect to see those second and third place drivers maybe try and work together to whittle away at the 1.1 second advantage that race leader Fitzsimmons currently holds. Look at that 3-wide action. That's got to be a little bit of lap traffic in the fray. I know that was Sarkis and Bianchi. Not quite sure who the traffic was. Possibly Taylor Zappi? Yes, it was. A newcomer in the 19 machine. Looks like Sarkis not quite able to shake off Bianchi. I just heard a little bit of body work grinding in the background, but not entirely sure who it was. Bianchi really sawing the wheel there, trying to get around Sarkis, looking up to the inside line, not quite having any luck yet, but what a great onboard view. And now he's in the draft of the Brazilian number 4 machine. Here comes Bianchi. Gonna try and get set up along the inside, pulls next to Sarkis. Oh, has to slow it way down, but Bianchi will take over the 5th place spot. Ryan Tebow may be right here. There could be a podium in Bianchi's future. Go a little bit further ahead. Soto and Aguilar still linked up for second, but they are losing time behind race leader Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons starting to check out 1.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Oh, and they've got another crash report. Duhair may have taken a tow back to pit road, may have alt F4'd this thing. Let's see what happened to the 13. Pulls over and says so long. So panning back, it's Soto and Aguilar, second and third, still losing time to Fitzsimmons. I would have imagined they'd be gaining a little bit of ground here. Working with each other, but Fitzsimmons last time by gained 2 to 3 tenths on these final podium positions. Aguilar up the inside line of Soto. Soto's going to make him fight for it. Soto gets set back up to the left-hander. Aguilar chops the nose slightly, runs a very wide line there. And while this back and forth is going on, that has given Fitzsimmons a 1.8 second advantage. Now, the fuel window officially opens up around lap 10 for these drivers. I've got to say, this is the first time I've made my way out to this circuit before, so not quite sure if we're going to see any alternative fuel strategies. Because after the feature event, then we have our half-lap sprint race. It'll be 10 laps here at the German Grand Prix. It's always half the laps and twice the action. Sometimes even carnage. A little bit of traffic on the horizon for Soto and Aguilar. Soto takes back over the second place spot. I believe that's going to be Zappi once more in that 19 machine. A very diverse field as far as it goes with skill sets. So we've got almost professional drivers out on track, and we've got newcomers here to the open wheel Formula 3 machines. Now, interesting, Aguilar actually triggered our broadcast software in that final corner with an off track. Not sure how accurate that may be. And you can really hear the tires working on Soto and Aguilar's machines, carrying as much slip angle as they possibly can. And it looks like Aguilar not really content sitting here in third, wants to put the pressure back on Soto. Right now, looks like Hard Charger out on track is going to be the returning driver of the 81 machine, Nick Terrell. He is up 9 positions, has worked his way up into 12th. That is a good spot to be in with that inverted top 12 of the sprint race. If he locks up this position, he will finish, or excuse me, he will start the sprint race in the top spot. Also have a battle starting to shape up for 13th. Gareth McAllister starting to track down Zanave in the battle for 13th. So 2 very distinct battles out on track. Zanave and McAllister battling for 13th. Soto and Aguilar have been hinting at a battle in second. But here we go, McAllister working against Zanave. Zanave almost yielding the spot there. Maybe realizing McAllister a lot faster at this point of the run, but look how aggressive the banking is. Not the banking, excuse me, the curbing. Have to be careful in these Formula 3 machines not to beat up on the underbody too much. We've seen drivers get a meatball flag for stranger things in the past. Another good pack of drivers we have right now is Scribner, Duckwall, and Penn, 7th, 8th, and 9th, separated by about 9/10 each. Trying to get the slightest bit of a toe from the driver in front, but just barely outside that window. As for the most part, the field pretty spread out, except for Soto and Aguilar, who are still kind of going at it. This is giving Fitzsimmons, your race leader and defending champion, a 2.2 second advantage. I would have swore that Soto and Aguilar would try and leapfrog a little bit here and track down Fitzsimmons, but that does not be the case. We've got Norman King joining us on the spectator side on YouTube. Always great seeing him. And oh, a bit of a bobble there for Aguilar. Looks like both Aguilar and Soto went in a little bit too deep, a little bit of a micro lockup. And you can tell these drivers definitely on the ragged edges. Soto gets great drive out of the corner. Aguilar immediately goes to the track right, trying to carry a little bit more speed, but Soto's right there with him, throwing it in, but I think Aguilar got that one set up well, so Soto could not get the drive out of the corner he was looking for, having to square up and tighten up that apex a little bit more than that number 72, but Soto's going to pay it back, taking over the second place spot. And these two drivers putting on a show for second. These guys have years of racing experience against each other, so they know what they can get away with, when to push and when to take it a little bit easier. And still separated by just at a 1/10 of a second. Now it's interesting, Callaway, who came in for a very early pit stop on the first lap, he was in his pit stall for 40 seconds. So I would imagine got some repairs done during that stop. But speaking of stop, Alex Penn's going to come down pit road. I think he's going to really initiate the green flag pit stops, be one of the first drivers going for a bit of an undercut over the rest of the field. Maybe looking for some clean track once he gets back out onto the circuit. Historically, you see the top 5, top 8 drivers wait until the tank is just about empty. before they come down pit road. And there's two longtime rivals, Nick Terrell, Gareth McAllister, rivals and friends, I should say, battling for 11th. They're about, oh, look at that, McAllister makes it happen. Terrell must have had a big mistake there because now he's got Xavier Zanave right behind. I was gonna say, what happened to Zanave? Around he goes. Looks like he had to pinch off the corner just a little bit too much to avoid getting into Terrell's 81 machine. Oh, I think there was contact there between Terrell and Zanave. I was saying, or starting to think, I wonder if Terrell was just trying to hold on to that 12th place spot so he can be at the very front for the sprint and maybe avoid some carnage. He is a part-time entry so far this season. And we've got more problems. This time it looked like it was Devin Hughes triggering our crash report software. Yeah, Norman King saying, I miss being out there. I gotta say, we miss having that Mustard Seed Racing car out there as well as we watch Devin Hughes. A bit of a massive blink. And what happened? Russell Soto is off track. Here comes Nick Peterson to try and work his way into podium contention. Soto surely overheated the tires here. He's got to calm himself and avoid making exponential mistakes, but Peterson knows I'm going to keep the pressure up on that 51 machine. I would imagine Soto will probably box this next lap. Let's see what happened to the 51 to cause him to lose out on second and now having to fight tooth and nail to hold on to the podium. Takes a dive to the inside of Aguilar through one. Oh, very late on the brakes goes Soto. Just entirely too late, entirely. How many times can I say that? Cooks it into turn one. Soto able to hold on to that third place spot. How are the tires feeling underneath him though? Because he has fallen 4 seconds back from Aguilar. And Peterson hungry for a podium right on the rear gearbox of Soto. So let's see, all eyes are on Peterson, the number 24 machine. He qualified fourth, still running fourth. Everybody inside the top 11 has yet to come down pit road for their stops. As I say that, Devin Hughes initiates his pit stop. Looks like Soto able to get his legs back underneath him as he's put about a 7/10, let's call it about 6/10 over Peterson. And there's Bianchi in the background. The fans were saying they were expecting a podium out of him here today. And he is getting within striking distance. He's a second and a half back from Peterson. We've got Flo Doms join us on the spectator side of YouTube as well. Great to see him. Another great driver we miss seeing out on track, but still a part of the League Zero family. And right now, your top two drivers just gone. Finley Fitzsimmons up front, Ray Aguilar second, Soto in third. But still a fight going on for third as Nick Peterson's keeping the pressure up. Peterson a half second back from Soto. The rest of the field separated by at least a second all the way around. As we are on board Peterson's 24 machine. Just inside the draft of Soto. Trying to stay in it to maybe pull himself a little bit further towards the 51. And we did get a report that world famous Flo Dom's trying to get back out onto the circuit when fall and winter comes around, so that'd be great to see him out there. And Peterson just kind of yo-yoing back and forth behind Soto. And look at that. Aguilar clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 146.29. Antonio Bianchi comes down pit road. Still have not seen anybody inside our top 5 box yet. John Casai, number 3, also initiating his one and only planned pit stop of the race. Soto, a very slight bobble there. Loses about 2/10 to Peterson. We check back in on race leader Finley Fitzsimmons, a 2.9 second margin over Aguilar. Aguilar 4.7 ahead of Russell Soto, who sits in third. Looks like Soto's going to get a bit of a breather here as he continues to fend off Nick Peterson. 5 laps left to go here at the German Grand Prix, and looked like Fitzsimmons thought about coming down pit road and maybe missed the box. Well, looks like Aguilar is going to stay out as well, so Fitzsimmons most likely not in danger of running out of fuel. Jake Duckwall's down pit road, so keep an eye out on Russell Soto, Nick Peterson, and Antonio Bianchi running 5th, 6th, and 7th. All came in around that lap 15 mark. Now we're expecting Fitzsimmons and Aguilar to box this time by to avoid running out of fuel. We've seen both of these drivers get dangerously close to the limit before in different races here at League Zero. So let's see what's going to happen to Fitzsimmons. Got about 2/10 of the lap left to go. A 3-second advantage over Aguilar. And yes, Fitzsimmons dives down pit road. Aguilar will follow suit. Felipe Sarkis, Connor Scribner also on pit road. Where is this going to put Russell Soto? He was third when he came down pit road on lap 15. Fitzsimmons and Aguilar roll out of pit road. Fitzsimmons a 5.8 second stop. Aguilar 4.1. Oh, Aguilar is going to be close here. About 0.8 off the back of Fitzsimmons. Aguilar still has about a 5.8 second advantage over Soto, who is now back up into third with a 1.5 second gap over Peterson. Will we see a battle for the lead develop if we go a little bit further back? There is definitely a battle for 6. Felipe Sarkis, Connor Scribner. Sarkis is running exactly where he qualified. Scribner's up 3 positions. And here we go. Scribner trying to get another spot. They get ready to go side by side. And we got another crash report as well. Alex Penn involved in an incident. Let's see what happened to that number 30 machine. Looks like it's going to be a solo incident. Oh, and just loops the back end around, so very tough go. And look at this, a battle for the lead. As Finley Fitzsimmons has company from Ray Aguilar. Oh, here we go. Aguilar's going to put the pressure on, known for his aggressiveness. Fitzsimmons is not going to yield. Fitzsimmons holding on for everything he's got with 2 laps left to go. Oh, here we go. Aguilar up the inside line, trying to nudge the champion out of the way. Fitzsimmons a little bit of an off track. Aguilar takes over the lead, but just barely so. Fitzsimmons fires back up the inside line. Aguilar on the left side of your screen. Fitzsimmons on the right. They are wheel to wheel here. Has to be careful. Fitzsimmons regains the race lead, a 2/10 above Aguilar. Aguilar is going to take his time getting set back up and maybe wait a little bit for a more opportune moment. I take it back as they're side by side once more. There will be no waiting as it looks like Fitzsimmons dips the wheels off track. Oh, and these guys are going at it. Still a drag race down the start-finish line. They make contact. Fitzsimmons looked like he bumped the side of Aguilar, letting him know he's there. Aguilar's going to be set up for the inside line through turn 1. Fitzsimmons tries to carry a more outward line, trying to carry some corner speed, but it looks like Aguilar may get clear here, just barely over Fitzsimmons. Still side by side they go. Fitzsimmons fires back on the inside line. Aguilar doing everything he can to try and make this thing happen. They are losing a little bit of time to Soto in third, but not too much to worry about, I think. You can just see Soto in the background. But one little mistake and Soto could be handed a win here if Fitzsimmons and Aguilar keep up the wheel-to-wheel contact. Looked like there may have been a little bit of a lockup there from Fitzsimmons. Aguilar tucked in right behind, right in the draft. They have lost about 0.4 of a second to Soto the last half lap. Soto's still about 3.4 seconds back behind his battle for the lead as they're side by side once more. Fitzsimmons at the inside line. Aguilar goes wide. Aguilar crosses the front of Fitzsimmons, takes back over the race lead. And now it's going to be Fitzsimmons' turn. Doesn't want to play second fiddle. Looked like Aguilar almost let him go there, maybe thinking Fitzsimmons came in way too hot. But Fitzsimmons cleared the corner in demanding fashion. Fitzsimmons trying to break the draft. The white flag is out here at the German Grand Prix. Starting this lap, it's Fitzsimmons 2/10 ahead of Aguilar. Who's it going to be at the end of this thing? Averaging a minute and 47 and a half second lap times here. Oh, and there we go! Fitzsimmons spun around. Here comes Soto up into third. Here comes Nick Peterson. Here comes Antonio Bianchi. They're going to gain spots on the champion. Fitzsimmons on the last lap has nothing but problems. Was there contact there? Surely there was. Let's try and get our League Zero chopper cam in play. Oh, Aguilar was all sorts of out of shape into the corner. If there was contact, it was just barely on the back left wheel of Fitzsimmons. So now it's going to be Aguilar, Soto, Peterson, your top three. We knew from the lap prior this was going to be an exciting one. We didn't know how exciting it was going to be. As now Bianchi fighting for every point he can, pulls up alongside Fitzsimmons. And Fitzsimmons just so incredibly fast through that section on the ragged edge. But it's going to be Ray Aguilar bringing home the win. Russell Soto locks up second. And welcome back Nick Peterson to the top three. Fitzsimmons and Bianchi will round out the top five. We're going to get these top three drivers up here to victory lane for a brief interview, a very short intermission, and then we'll send them right back out on track for the action-packed sprint race of the evening. We've got Soto. We're still waiting on Peterson and Aguilar to make their way up to the interview room. And yeah, I agree with the fans. Definitely contact there between Aguilar and Fitzsimmons. We'll give these drivers a couple more moments to get up here in victory lane. So we're going to get things started with our good friend Nick Peterson bringing it home in third. Nick, I mean, that was just great timing. You were very consistent all race long, but next thing you know, suddenly you're battling for a podium.
Yeah, I got lucky. I was a little worried that he was going to come back on track and hit me, but we made it through.
Yeah, I mean, just so barely such, but a good points night for you and the team. I know Kasai had a few incidents that race, but still had to be overall happy with how you guys performed.
Yeah, the Chase Motorsports is doing pretty good. I missed last race because, well, I guess not last race, but I got married 2 weekends ago, so first podium from a married man.
Well, congratulations, my friend. Still able to break away, get out on a Thursday night for the sim racing. So that's got to be cool for you and the family, and Kasai, who I guess is family of sorts as well. But Nick, a great race all the way around. Who do you want to give a shout to before we let you get ready for the sprint race?
I'll give a shout out to my wife, Laura, for cheering me on.
Was that the whole list?
That was the whole list. That
Okay,
was
sweet.
it.
It sounded like it was open-ended. Nick, congratulations both on track and to you and the misses, and hope to have you back up here following the sprint race, my friend.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right, thank you, sir. That was Nick Peterson bringing it home. And third up next, Russell Soto, the 51 machine, back in the top positions. Good to have you back, my friend, and with some great racing out here at the German Grand Prix.
Absolutely, James. Thank you for having me as well. It's been a great stream, great race, and a lot of battling all around.
Yeah, I mean, this race, it seems like it really bodes well, especially the opening laps, that the racing stays tight. Is this a draft-heavy track that prevents people from breaking away, or what do you think contributes to such good racing that we're seeing?
I think what contributes is, honestly, it's got a great balance, this track. You got some draft, but you got a really technical session, especially in that middle sector of the track that's pretty hard to get down, especially with dirty air. But yeah, we had some great racing overall. I think, I was battling Ray hard, and then later on in the race, him and Finley were going at it, and I had a good front row view there.
Yeah, we did some onboard, and it was some great shots, but this was, I believe, your fourth start of the season, your second top 5. I know you're running a limited schedule, but what's the plans for the rest of the year for you and that team?
I'll definitely continue running the rest of the season as much as I can, especially the tracks that I do have. But yeah, no, it's honestly a great league. I love the racing here. I feel like throughout the entire grid, I can race everybody clean.
Well, Russell, it's always great having you back up here, especially when it's in the top 3. Before we let you go and get ready for the sprint race, who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it happen for you?
Oh, I'd like to give a shout out to the stream, you, James, for putting on a great broadcast, League Zero, as well as Antonio for running just an amazing league. I'd love to shout out myself as well, currently running in the PT Autosport Aspiring Driver Shootout. Hoping to be a finalist for that August competition, win $100,000 in race. But yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. Thank you, James.
Now, Russell, before we let you go, for the fans that are out here tonight for League Zero, how do they keep in touch with your real-life racing progress? Is there a website they can go to?
Yes, definitely. So that would be www.russellsotoracing.com. And my Instagram page is @RussellTSoto. I'm always posting a lot of cool content that you guys can watch. Especially nowadays, I'm kind of becoming a content creator. So definitely give me a follow.
Awesome. We'll do that up here in the booth as well. Russell, thank you as always, my friend, and best of luck in the sprint.
Thank you so much.
That was Russell Soto bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, making it 3 wins in a row. Welcome back, Ray Aguilar.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to be here. I might have committed murder on the way, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, the post-race review, are you worried that you're going to be losing that win once this goes to the Steward channel?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I mean, he went wide. I've only got to see a couple angles of it. He went wide, but yeah, my rear got loose and I definitely tapped him. So
now,
we'll see how it goes. Last lap, I'd do it again any night of the week, though. You know what I mean? We were having such a good battle. It was so fun at the end there. I would do that 1,000 times over.
Well, it was a lot of fun for us up in the booth, and for the fans that aren't as familiar, Ray, I know there's a penalty system. So I know it's license point and time. I'm trying to think, what would that incident, I guess we don't know, but is it common for it to be like a 1 in 5 is what they would call like the first level
Yeah,
of penalties?
something like that. Those are usually the average base penalties we get for stuff and, causing a collision, things like that.
Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see how Yeah, it's going to be interesting how that one breaks down. But for right now, that's going to be the official third, the unofficial, I should say, third in a row. So the first hat trick so far this season. Now, we've always seen carnage, we've seen calamity in the sprint race. What's the plan on a track like this where it seems pretty tough to break away from your competitors?
I think the plan tonight is to just watch the insides. The tires are freezing cold when you first go out there for some reason, more so than usual, I mean. And everybody tends to push on that first lap. It's super squirrely. So I'm just going to try to stay on the inside and stay away from people's outsides because that's I don't want to get just collected in some giant incident.
Yeah, the shenanigans. But, hey, a great race at the German Grand Prix. Now, was this a track? I don't think we've raced this since I've been calling the action here at League Zero. Are you happy with how things went overall for the entirety of the field?
Yeah, overall it seemed like it was pretty good. There's a lot of wrecks. The grass is too close to the track, so everybody's going to fly off, or some of the guys are inevitably going to do that. But I don't know. I think it was a lot cleaner than some of the other races we had, and we got a decent turnout despite everybody hating this track. So I think we'll probably visit it again in the future at some point.
Well, I hope so. I bought it just for this event. But, Ray, it's always a pleasure having you up here in the booth, my friend. Good to have you in the top spot. Before I let you go, get ready for the sprint. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it happen for you?
I want to thank my teammate Antonio for pulling it in. He spent some time working on this, which is not normally something he would do, like practicing or preparing for a race. And he's been doing that lately. It's been helping out the team with points wise. I think we're really going to have a shot there. And as always, I want to thank TGS, my beautiful wife, for letting me do this stuff and not making me take out the trash or do other things like that.
Awesome, Ray. Always a pleasure, my friend, and best of luck in the sprint race tonight.
Yep, best of luck. Let her buck. I love you, James. I'll see you later.
Love you too, buddy. That was Ray Aguilar bringing it home in the top spot. Don't go anywhere. We've got a very brief intermission. We'll be back in less than 3 minutes with the final sprint race of the evening here at League Zero. All right, race fans, we are back for the final sprint race of the night. We've got half the laps, an inverted top 12, and guaranteed action here at LeagueZero.net. Let's go ahead and get the running lineup there so you can see who your favorite driver is. We'll do the top 12 with Gareth McAllister in the hot seat. Devin Hughes starting second. Alex Penn starting third. Julian Madore starting fourth. Jake Duckwall starting fifth. Connor Scribner starting 6th, Felipe Sarkis starting 7th, Antonio Bianchi starting 8th, Finley Fitzsimmons 9th, Nick Peterson starting 10th, Russell Soto starting 11th, And Raymond Aguilar will round out that top 12 inverted grid. The lights get ready to come on. Once they're off, we're starting. Looks like Taylor Zope not going to make the grid, that number 19. And here we go, a little bit of smoke off of Devin Hughes' rear tires. He's going to lose a whole lot of spots here. Falls back to 7th, and it's going to be a meat grinder as we're 3 wide, almost 4 wide into turn 1. Will we get through this? Looks like the start is good. Thankfully, the field breaks through nice and clean. And look at the aggressiveness out of Finley Fitzsimmons. Oh, a little bit of smoke up ahead, and there's carnage. Big incident. Russell Soto and Antonio Bianchi, Ray Aguilar, Devin Hughes all involved in an incident. Looked like Devin Hughes, the all-black number 60, was definitely in the mix there. We're focused in on Hughes. What happens here? Oh, it just gets collected. Soto got bumped on the inside, I think, and just nothing Hughes could do there. So it's McAllister, Penn, Duckwall, Mador, Fitzsimmons. Actually, Fitzsimmons makes a move up into 4th. That number 1 machine driving with a little bit of red mist. We need to get a report. Russell Soto and Antonio Bianchi take a tow back to pit road. As Alex Penn has company from Jake Duckwall's 99 machine right behind them. Oh, no, he's going to shake off Duckwall. Duckwall has company from Fitzsimmons. We are 2 wide and 2 rows deep. You got Fitzsimmons and Duckwall battling for 3rd. Peterson and Mador battling for 5th. Fitzsimmons makes the pass, makes it clean. Looks like Peterson's going to move up into 5th as well. The newlywed Peterson, if he could get back-to-back podiums, he would be absolutely ecstatic here. As McAllister trying to get a breakaway from the rest of the field, maybe try and put all this carnage behind him. As here we go, the battle for 2nd underway. Fitzsimmons versus Penn. Fitzsimmons makes the outside line work. Way outside goes that number 1. Oh, it's right behind him. That's Duckwall. And oh, what just happened to Peterson? Did Peterson get some contact there? No, I think he lifted to avoid getting to the back of Mador's number 78. Took the arrow off the car, and around goes Peterson. The commentator's curse hitting hard. Jeremy Barber also involved in an incident. I think he's going to maybe take a tow, as that machine sounds like a box of marbles at this point. And here's the 3-car battle for 4th. Duckwall, Mador, Scribner in the fray right behind them. That is Sarkis, Kasai, and Callaway battling for the 7th place position. So here's the battle for 4th. And just behind you can see another 3-car freight train, Sarkis, Kasai, Callaway. That is the battle for 7th. Here we go, Duckwall and Mador briefly going side by side. Nobody felt confident making a move there. McAllister, your race leader, the fastest lap, but is immediately answered by Alex Penn, who clicks off a 148.31. Oh, we're almost 3 wide in the battle for 4th. This is getting a little bit gnarly. Duckwall back to 6th as Fitzsimmons has moved up into 2nd ahead of Alex Penn. Now the big question is, if Fitzsimmons catches up to McAllister, how hard will he fight for the lead against a teammate? He's 1.6 seconds back, 7 laps left to go. More battles out on track. Nick Terrell has pressure from Ray Aguilar, who's involved in that early lap 1 incident. Aguilar takes over the spot. And look at that, Scribner and Mador side by side. We go on board with Duckwall, pulling it up alongside Mador. Not quite. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. Duckwall's got to hold on to it. Able to do that, but a very hairy moment. The prize, Duckwall didn't lose more time during that. Still very much within striking distance of Mador. And you can see that Sarkis, Callaway, Kasai, Peterson, and Zanave starting to close the gap behind here. Was that Mador just made a pass through the grass? As we go 3 wide once more. Duckwall and Mador throwing haymakers at each other. Fitzsimmons has gotten within a second of teammate and race leader McAllister. Fitzsimmons very quickly clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 146.8. This is where all the action, though, is, ladies and gentlemen. The battle for fifth, getting heated. Let's see if we can grab a nice wide angle here. That is a very busy racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Peterson has some sort of bobble. He falls back to 9th. Oh, there's a lot of talent here. Ray Aguilar trying to pull up alongside Zanave. Taking over the 11th place position. You can see the 2 teammates, Peterson and Kasai, linked up 9th and 10th. And we do have a report. There's a battle for the lead underfoot. The 2 teammates, McAllister and Fitzsimmons. Will team orders come into play, or will McAllister try to defend against the 2-time champ, Fitzsimmons? Oh, Fitzsimmons pulls up alongside of his teammate. Hobbs back in the draft. Fitzsimmons just so wildly fast through that chicane. McAllister will hold on to the lead here. They're not losing much time over other drivers, but they are still very much a meat grinder all across the track, as that's Callaway and Peterson side by side, not too far ahead. Sarkis and Mador also side by side. The 2 teammates hop in line. Peterson and Kasai trying to work through here, but they've got Callaway, they've got Aguilar all in the fray. Aguilar with a big off-track moment, able to hold on to it. Maybe things calming down ever so slightly. We go a little bit further to the front of this pack. That's 6th place Felipe Sarkis, the number 4. As a freight train of drivers behind him. Oh, Nick Peterson, a bobble, a huge bobble. I think Mador was also caught up in that. So keep an eye on Mador's 78 machine. Peterson sent it a little bit. No, that was Mador that sent it too hard. My apologies. I thought that was Nick Peterson that slung it around. That was Mador, a solo incident on the brakes. Alex Penn clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 147.39. And we do have a battle for the lead. Fitzsimmons takes over from his teammate McAllister. While McAllister's trying to break a bit of a dry spell when it comes to wins, I think he'd be ecstatic with a podium position here at the German Grand Prix. Even more so accompanied by his teammate. Alex Penn sitting in third. This would be his first podium of the season, running a very limited schedule. He does have the fastest lap so far of the race. And all of these podium drivers, these current podium drivers, have hours and hours of racing experience either with or against each other on iRacing. Great camaraderie on and off the track. And now we wait to see, can Penn close that gap, catch up somehow to McAllister? We're going to interrupt this onboard with a quick crash report. Zuhair and I think Nick Terrell were involved in an incident. Looks like it's going to be together. Oh, I can't tell. Oh, I can't tell if Zuhair turned in on that one, or that's going to be an interesting one to see later. As you're on board with Alex Penn, trying to close that gap as quick as he can to McAllister. Don Kasai takes a tow back to pit road. He's going to be done and out of this one. Aguilar back in 8th, clicks off the fastest lap. Fastest clean lap of 1:46.69. No, excuse me. Yeah, that was Aguilar. My apologies. McAllister doing a great job holding on to it here. 3/4 of a second up over Penn. Penn has not closed the gap maybe as quickly as he was looking for. As let's go back to the battle for 7th. Nick Peterson is trying to track down Felipe Sarkis, has Aguilar in very hot pursuit. Not too far behind those two is Zanave trying to fend off Callaway. Callaway hops out of the draft to try and make a move for 9th. Looks like he's gonna get it here. Oh, almost dipping some tires into the dirt. Chops the nose off of Zanave. And Zanave is gonna have to settle for 10th for at least a little while longer here. Now I'm curious to see what Aguilar is going to do. As Aguilar is our current points leader. And as discussed in that feature event, might not get the credit for a first place, judging what the stewards say about his penalty end of where there was contact made between himself and Fitzsimmons. Aguilar hops out of line into turn 1, shoots up the inside line of Peterson. Peterson a little bit wider line, carries more corner speed, is set up for the left-hander, so Aguilar is going to have to make another go at it here. Oh, a lock up there from Aguilar, but definitely well worth the risk as he is moved back up into 8th. Way off track goes Aguilar, cutting the grass here. Oh, another lockup from Aguilar. I wonder if he's cooking the tires, because now Peterson gonna pull up alongside that 72. And what is most certainly the closest battle out on track. And Peterson and Aguilar right there with each other, and there goes Peterson. Was there contact? Or was there net code, I wonder? Unfortunately, it doesn't matter for Peterson as he falls back to 8th. Trying to see. It looked for a moment that Aguilar had wing damage. I don't think that is the case. As we go back to the developing battle for 2nd, Penn has been within striking distance the last couple of laps. He's about 4/10 off the back of 2nd place driver Gareth McAllister. Penn must have had a huge bobble there. He's now 1.7 seconds behind McAllister. The white flag will be out in this next time by Fitzsimmons, your race leader, 3 seconds up over McAllister in second. Penn sitting third. Scribner and Sarkis round out the top 5. As the white flag gets unfurled at the start-finish line, we've got Zuhair versus Mador in the battle for 13th. Two newcomers here to League Zero. Overcoming a bit of adversity early on in this main event, this feature event. Oh, Sarkis had another off track. He's got to be very mindful of the penalty limit. As there is Aguilar tucked in behind Duckwall. We've seen him shoot to the inside through turn 1 several times this race. He's going to do it again. Oh, very hard on the brakes of the lockup. Very uncharacteristic for Aguilar. You can tell he's really using everything he has and then some in that machine. We check back in on Fitzsimmons. You could just barely see McAllister in the background as well as Alex Penn. Fitzsimmons and McAllister, two teammates racing for Team Goon Squad, first and second. They would be ecstatic at the points implications if they can bring this thing home, securing the 2 top spots. But Alex Penn wants to throw a wrench in the plans of the teammates as a part-time driver in that number 30 machine. A quarter of a lap left to go here for Fitzsimmons. And put your hands together. Here comes Fitzsimmons. Gonna bring home the win here at the German Grand Prix. Gareth McAllister will finish second, and Alex Penn will round out the top 3. And Fitzsimmons gonna burn it down here. And he paid for all the tires, so Fitzsimmons is going to use all the tires. We're waiting on Alex Penn to make his way up inside the waiting room. And we will get things started here. So up first, we've got Alex Penn bringing it home in third, a part-time drive this season, Alex, but got to be ecstatic. Your first time out, I believe, this season and locking up a top 3.
Absolutely. First podium in the league as well, so I'm pretty happy right now.
Now, I know you have a ton of endurance laps. Is this a track that you were already very familiar with coming into today's main event?
The Nordschleife half, definitely, with the couple of runs I've done in the Nürburgring 24. But it was a lot different taking the curves in a GT4 compared to an F3 car, because you feel it a lot more in these Formula cars.
Yeah, I was going to say the curbing looks very aggressive at this track. Was underbody damage ever a concern during this race?
Um, it was in the back of my mind going into the last corner. If you caught your left side tires on the outside entry curb, you were going for a ride. You would get all 4 tires off the ground, and you're just sliding at that point.
Well, it seemed like it worked out very well for you. The previous laps here definitely pan off to your advantage. A huge third. Congratulations on the first podium, surrounded by friends here in the top 3. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make this happen for you?
First of all, the Antonio and the rest of the race stewards, you up in the booth, the guys at on the Team Goon Squad team, Finley and Gareth, they're always a fun group to race against, and my family as well.
Awesome. Alex, always a pleasure, my friend. Good to have you back, and hope to have you up here more in the future, my friend.
Definitely. Thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Alex Penn bringing it home in second. Up next, the world-famous Australian Gareth McAllister. Started in the top spot. The sprint race, a nerve-wracking position to be in, but still able to lock up a second by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, hi James, how's it going? G'day to everyone watching at home, and yeah, feeling pretty good, James.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for more. The only person that beat you was your teammate Fitzsimmons, and I mean, you definitely had the pace here, and it seemed like things were just all around kind of fell into place for you.
Yeah, the team getting a 1-2 is absolutely phenomenal. Very, very happy about that. And you know, I was kind of telling Finley like, oh man, if you would have just let me win, that would have been awesome. But nah, you can never have anything for that man. He's way too quick. Very happy to be his teammate. And you know, Alex had a great run on me. I got very lucky at the end there. He got a bit of a slowdown, which stopped him from catching up and passing me because he was right on my back bumper and really pressuring me at the end there. But yeah, we had a pretty good race overall. The car felt pretty good. The track was super cold. The tires were super cold. It took like a good 3 laps before you could start really pushing this thing.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a bit of a tough one for the drivers, but hey, I guess better than a blistering hot track where everybody's trying to control it the whole time, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, once the tires got up to temp, then it started getting fine. But it was the initial like, oh boy, you know, you had to drop a gear here and there on certain corners that, you know, when you're on warmer tires, you wouldn't even dream of it. So, you know, it's just one of those things. But yeah, it's been a great race as always. I'm sure you did a great job up there in the booth, James. I'm going to be watching it back, and yeah, couldn't really ask for more apart from if Finley would have let me win.
Well, hey, a great race for you and the team. Gareth, a pleasure as always. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to that helped you bring home this second?
Yeah, definitely Finley Fitzsimmons. Always as the teammate in the Team Goon Squad Racing. Team Goon Squad themselves, aka you, James, as well for the broadcast. And all my family and friends, as well as everyone in this league watching at home or participating really in the race with me. It's been a lot of fun. I hope we get more people turning up. There was actually a pretty decent grid here tonight. There were fears early on as to whether we'd get enough people, but I was very, very happy to see that the grid got filled out. And, you know, we had a pretty terrible feature race, made a lot of issues, but I was very happy that the sprint race went pretty much according to plan. And yeah, just cheers to all the fans watching at home.
Awesome. Gareth, always a pleasure, and hope to have you back up here more this season.
10-4, James. I hope so too.
Thank you, sir. That was Gareth McAllister bringing it home in a second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Finley Fitzsimmons. Welcome back to the top spot after a bit of a frustrating feature, but able to capitalize by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, good result as well, Gareth, for the first time we share the podium. So I'm really happy about that. And also a guy I quite like in third as well. So yeah, it was a pretty good turnout for this race, unlike the feature.
Yeah, so I mean, surrounded by friends all the way around, both you, McAllister, Penn, and there's a lot of not new faces in our circle, but maybe new faces that coming back out to League Zero, and it seemed like a lot of the usual guys we race with kind of all showed up here for the ring.
Yeah, it was a really good race, and the feature as well. I didn't get to mention, but I'm sure you saw for ages. Me and Ray were battling really hard, and us three, Ray and Russell, we were very, very similar on pace. In fact, I think Ray was slightly quicker than me coming towards the end of the race. But yeah, it was literally just because they were battling behind that I managed to stretch a gap, which, yeah, just that kind of safety buffer. Unfortunately, didn't quite get to race them in the second race, but yeah, it was still a challenge on lap 1 to make around the traffic. So yeah, still had fun.
Well, glad things worked out well for you the sprint race. Now, we were kind of joking around up here in the broadcast booth about team orders, but we know you and McAllister are racers at heart. So was it kind of a wink and a nod there, saying, "Hey, let's get after this," and best man wins during this sprint race?
It was more like I was gonna get past, but I just wanted to make sure I bided my time, and I wasn't gonna do anything they were doing his race. So I just waited behind him and waited for a good enough opportunity that I wouldn't slow him down too much. So I suppose there was a little bit of that, but yeah, I just tried to not hinder his race as much as I could.
Well, hey, great racing, great camaraderie here at League Zero. Good to have you in the top spot, and I know you're trying to make it 3 in a row championships, but before we let you go, Finley, who do you want to give a shout to that helped bring home this win? You've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the evening.
Once again, the best teammate, Gareth McAllister, for coming home in second. I know his family are watching as well, so hi to them. Thank you to everyone who runs the league. Thanks to Antonio, all the stewards. You, of course, James, Team Goon Squad in the race, in the booth even. Yeah, thanks to everybody as well for turning up and putting on a good race today.
Awesome. Finley, always a pleasure, and hope to have you back up here next week as well.
Thank you, James. See ya.
Thank you, sir. That was Finley Fitzsimmons bringing it home in the top spot. He was accompanied by world-famous Gareth McAllister, as well as their longtime friend Alex Penn, who rounded out the podium. On behalf of LeagueZero.net, my name has been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for tuning in, spending your Thursday night with us, and I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.